We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
Okay, so I'm just asking this as a Canadian. So you cannot say free Palestine. You are going to get deported, get your green card revoked for saying free Palestine. But you can go online and say such a racist thing about a whole country and whole nation and call them such a disrespectful thing, and that's okay. Again, I'm all for free speech. I think, you know, what is good for people to do, to say what they want as long as they're not harming anybody. But it just, USA is not making sense anymore. You guys used to be the beacon of hope. And now, I don't know. I hope you guys can fix it. Anyways, good luck. Bye.
Years now that China is cheating, that they've rigged the system, broken the rules, stolen their way to prosperity. You'll hear terms like forced technology transfers, intellectual property theft, state subsidies, dumping, currency manipulation, and yes, these are serious issues. But if we really want to understand what happened over the last 30 years, why America lost millions of good-paying jobs, why our infrastructure is collapsing, why theirs is rising, why China now leads the world in manufacturing EVs and high-speed rail, we need to look past the slogans and ask the uncomfortable question, is China really cheating, or did our own elites simply sell us out? For years, foreign companies wanting to access to the Chinese market had to partner with Chinese firms and share their proprietary technology. That's called a forced technology transfer. Critics say this gave China an unfair advantage, but let's be honest, no one was forced. Western firms wanted a slice of the biggest market on Earth. They willingly traded tech for profits, and China said, we'll let you in, but you have to teach us how to build. And we said, yes, over and over and over again, because our CEOs weren't thinking 20 years ahead. They were thinking about their next quarterly earnings call. Yes, there's IP theft, there's hacking, there's state support, but let's not pretend we're innocent. The U.S. runs its own espionage operations. We've interfered in governments around the world, and when it comes to subsidies, the U.S. subsidizes agriculture, defense, oil and gas, Wall Street bailouts, and now tech firms under the CHIPS Act. We don't admit it. China does it openly because their system, the economy serves the nation. In our system, the economy serves shareholders. Currency manipulation. Well, that was true 20 years ago, but not anymore. China's actually spent the last decade propping up its currency to maintain stability. And non-tariff barriers, yes, China plays protectionist games, but so does everyone else, including us. We ban chip sales, restrict Huawei, embargo countries, and rewrite financial regulations to serve American interests. The reality is this. China didn't steal our prosperity, our own elites gave it away. They pushed for China's entry into the WTO, they offshored factories, dismantled unions, and told American workers to learn to code. The steel towns collapsed, the textile mills vanished, the auto parts industry got hollowed out, but the Dow Jones hit record highs, and that's all that mattered. And what did China do with its surplus? It didn't hand out stock buybacks, it didn't pump the money into speculative finance, it built high-speed rail, smart cities, new energy grids, entire industries from scratch. And what did we do? Well, we built financial bubbles, we gutted public schools, we defunded infrastructure, we gave tax cuts to the ultra-wealthy and told everyone else to tighten their belts. And now we think tariffs are going to fix this? Tariffs are like putting duct tape on a collapsing bridge. They raise prices, disrupt supply chains, and they invite retaliation. They don't build new factories, they don't create a workforce, they don't fix our broken system. At best, they're a pause button. But we don't need a pause, we need a reset. The only way forward is to rebuild this country from the ground up. That means a national industrial policy, one that actually names strategic sectors and invests in them long term. That means infrastructure on the scale of the New Deal, not pothole patchwork. It means vocational training, apprenticeships, and skilled labor being treated with the respect it deserves. It means breaking up the monopolies, punishing offshoring, banning stock buybacks, and rewarding companies that build here, hire here, and stay here. But instead of doing that, instead of focusing on America, what are we doing? We're talking about war with Iran. We're dropping bombs on Yemen. We're spending billions, waging proxy wars on behalf of a foreign government while our own cities look like war zones. We're pushing endless military aid packages, inflaming global tensions, and marching toward another conflict that has nothing to do with the American people and everything to do with the interests of defense contractors and their lobbyists. And when we're not trying to start a war, we're fantasizing about expanding our empire, making Canada a U.S. state, buying Greenland, stationing troops in every continent, guarding pipelines and mineral routes while our own border is a disaster and our veterans sleep in tents. This isn't America first. This is empire first, globalism first, elites first. If we really believed in putting America first, we wouldn't be policing the world. We'd be rebuilding our country. We'd have the best rail in the world, the cleanest water, the strongest power grid, the most resilient supply chains, the best educated workforce, the most secure borders. But we don't, because our leaders aren't interested in America as a nation. They're interested in America as an empire, a brand, a vehicle for wealth extraction. And that's the greatest betrayal of all. Because China is playing for China, acting in its own self-interest. Our ruling class is acting in their interest, not yours, not mine, not the country's. So no, the real problem isn't that China is cheating. The real problem is we've been lied to by the people who sold us a dream they never believed in, who hollowed out our middle class, who told us it was normal to work 3 jobs and still be broke, who mocked the idea of rebuilding this country while cashing checks from companies that sent your job to another continent. They handed China the blueprints, they signed the deals, they wrote the trade laws, and now they want to blame the people who took advantage of the opportunity they created? No, that's not cheating, that's smart. Ruthless, yes. Strategic, absolutely. But we should be taking notes, not throwing tantrums. If we want to win again, we don't need more sanctions. We need more engineers. We don't need more aircraft carriers. We need more factories. We don't need another $1 trillion war. We need a $1 trillion investment in America, in workers, in cities, in families, in sovereignty. You want America to be great again? Then build. Stop chasing wars. Stop chasing distractions. Stop chasing empire. Bring it home. And start again. That's the real America first, and it's the only way forward.
Don't be mad at China for taking U.S. jobs. Be furious at U.S. corporations for shipping them overseas. China did not do anything but take the jobs that it was given. It didn't force anyone to send them jobs. The Chinese trade imbalance is a problem that the U.S. created. U.S. corporations wanted to have a way to screw over the American worker, have cheaper production, not pay for benefits, and to avoid those pesky labor unions and labor laws. So what did they all do? They shipped those jobs right on off to China, putting a lot of people out of work here. And while they got richer than ever, they never redistributed those gains to the American people that they put out of work. And now that the backlash and the trade deficit has reached an all-time high, they're clutching their pearls and pointing the finger at China. But China didn't come over here and take the jobs. They shipped them off willingly. It's highly ironic that people are blaming China for taking the jobs they were given by U.S. corporations. That seems like misplaced outrage to me. But to all of these corporations pretending that China stole jobs, when they sent them over to China willingly, you just made the D3 List, a podcast about dumb, desperate, and diabolical business decisions.
Zawadi! So this video, as you can see, is telling us what happened in America. Exactly what happened in America. Who is to be blamed? Is it the Chinese people, the China country, or is it the American people under her policies? The reality is, when China was busy building her economy, busy investing in her people, busy pouring in the extra money that they earned through the trade deals between America and China, by building infrastructures, by advancing technology, by empowering her citizens to have the necessary skills so that they'll be able to have innovation that is going to shape the future of China, which we are currently experiencing. Like, for example, right now we are having flying cars in China. We are having a technology where you are able to make payment using your hand. Yeah, just your hand. You don't need to carry your phone. You don't need to carry your checkbook, or you don't need to carry your business, nothing. All you need to do is just use your hand, your palm here. You place in a gadget, and then the gadget will read your hand, and then if you have money in your account, it will immediately subtract what you have bought from the supermarket or maybe in a restaurant. And this technology is way advanced, and quite frankly, it's the only one in China. in the Western world, it's not available. We are having right now in China where they are busy, they are literally self-reliant, where they can produce their own food, where they can they have their own technology that is 100% self-reliant on China goods, China's technology. We are having a situation where Chinese are able to do business across the world peacefully, and they have developed tentacles across the world right now. So China has managed to remove her biggest population from poverty. 60 years down the line, 80 years down the line, 50 years down the line, China was experiencing poverty. Agriculture-wise, it was like not existing. But they decided to come up with policies that are going to empower her people by insisting on the people to start growing food, the people to start doing innovations, so that to put China in the world map. And that's basically what they did. And right now China is in the world map, is among the superpower in the world right now, technologically, agriculture wise, innovation wise, and many other sectors. While America was busy bombing across the world, while America was busy enriching the billionaires and the big corporations, while America was busy removing her manufacturing from America itself and taking it to China because of the cheap labor, that's what attracted to the big corporations, and of course to run away from the trade unions and forcing states where used to be factories town like to close down, because then factories are no longer working in America, but they're being pushed to go to China. And Chinese welcome American trade. Chinese welcome the American manufacturing. Chinese welcome to learn the new skills that Americans are offering her people, so that their people will be able to produce goods and services that America need as a country. And for the last 50, 60 years down the line, 70 years down the line, that's what has been happening. And China grew, benefited, and also of course America also benefited by getting cheap labor, by getting goods at a low prices and selling it in America at a higher prices, by getting trillions and trillions of dollars that are profits for American businesses across all sectors. But what happened is America did not empower her people, did not let those dollars trickle down to the common 9-to-5 person, the common citizen who depends on paycheck, the common citizen who depends on stamps. It did not trickle down. Rather, the only people who benefited mostly is the corporations, the big corporations, the elites, the super rich, the millionaires and the billionaires. Those are the people who literally benefited, while the people of America suffered by having expensive health insurance, by having expensive groceries, by having expensive house mortgages, by having expensive, policies that literally are benefiting the elites and making the poor to suffer and becoming more suffering and becoming more poorer. And that's what has been happening in America. And now 50 years down the line, we're seeing America has invested trillions and trillions of dollars in war across the world by buying ammunition across the world, instead of investing in infrastructure, instead of investing in the healthcare system, instead of investing in innovations, instead of investing in agriculture, instead of giving the citizen subsidies, and then the difference between China government and American government is China, they give subsidies to her people, and the government has made it possible in a way that it's benefiting the government, at the same time it's benefiting the citizen. While America's subsidies, it has been looked down like as if it's bad for capitalism, or it's bad to help the citizen in one way or another by the government. So fast forward 50 years down the line, 60 years down years down the line, we are seeing this imbalanced trade where we are seeing China has moved forward, is way advanced, technologically advanced, and the middle class, and there are over 700 million middle class. They are literally able to live luxurious lifestyle in China. And of course, you have the millionaires and billionaires in China, while the poor in China, they live very comfortable as compared to America, because in China healthcare is very affordable, Food is very affordable. Housing is very affordable, as you can see in the videos when you go on social media platform. While in America right now, people are complaining. They say living the American dream is very, very difficult. Life has become very expensive. People are literally working like 2-3 jobs or even 5 jobs, but they cannot see a way of, you know, of just enjoying their life, because they're just working, and they're dropping dead because of exhaustion, and then they're paying bills which they are endlessly are not able, you know, to just enjoy their life. And that is the reality of what's happening. So who's to be blamed? Who is to be blamed? Who is right? Who's wrong? Only time will tell. And the only way for America to recover is basically for the policies to be looked at, and to make sure they put emphasis on taking care of American citizens in healthcare sector, coming up with ways where people can afford healthcare, coming up with ways where citizens can afford food, coming up with ways where people can afford, you know, mortgages at affordable prices, coming up with ways where farmers can afford, you know, taking care of their farms and also earning money and making a profit. Small business can thrive also in America's country as a whole. Basically take care of the citizens to be able to thrive, and not just looking only at the elites in the community. So guys, what do you think about this video? Let me know what you think, and drop your comments.